Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome. It's here. It's our 31st season. Couldn't be more happy to join you this evening on the Big 1070 in Madison, the Big 920 in Milwaukee, and here live at Paulies Pub at Eatery, 81st and Greenfield for the beginning of our 31st season. We've got a great show planned for you. If you have a chance, come on down. Burger specials here tonight. A lot of cool things going on. We're talking bench racing, of course. We're giving away pants tonight as well. Yes, I said pants. We have a pair of crew pants from the Melling Racing Team that Rich Bickle drove for. Thanks, Zimmy, for the supply of stuff. He gave us a year's supply. We ran out of last year's show, so we're giving away Melling pants. We're giving away pants. We also have some great things to give away, including race tickets. Hello, be here at Paulies to win them to the May 3rd Joe Shear Classic presented by Skag Power Equipment. That is the ARCA Midwest Tour season opener at Madison International Speedway. We also have tickets to give away to the Spring Vintage Car Sunday events on May 17th at Road America for 2 adults. We've got a lot more to talk about. Those tickets tie right into what our show is going to be talking about this evening. We are pleased to have the communication director for Road America, John Everett, here with us tonight. We'll talk about the great season ahead at Road America. Season passes are available right now by going to roadamerica.com. We also have the new owner of Madison International Speedway and the new owner of the ARCA Midwest Tour, one man doing the talking. It's the same guy. Greg McCarnes is here tonight with his wife, Angie. We'll talk to Greg about his involvements in a big way in Wisconsin racing and the Midwest. We're looking forward to talking to Greg for a while here on the program as well. If you've heard about it, you may want to know more about it. This is the show to hear it. The Kowicki Driver Development Program was announced last May. There were drivers between the ages of 18 and 25 submitting entries to be part of the program this year. 7 drivers were selected to be the initial class of the Kowicki Driver Development Program. It's in honor and memory of Alan Kowicki, who it's already been 22 years ago, has passed on. I have a picture, actually, of Jeff Quadray's jacket on Alan the night he showed up at Hales Corners. And Jeff's here in the audience, and I haven't seen you in a while, Jeff, but it made me think of it. As we do our first show, we always think about Kowicki because it's early April. Alan passed away on April 1st, 1993. And I recall, I have a photo, thanks to Marilyn Shaw, I have a photo on my desk at home. It's Tom Klippel announcing. I'm standing behind Tom with a big old grin on my face because I was helping Tom doing the various announcing things and writing the story for Midwest Racing News at Hales Corners Speedway. And there's Tom interviewing Alan Kowicki, and the little judges standing in the infield. And it was obviously Alan was too smart and stylish to wear a jacket. So he's wearing Jeff Quadray's Bailing Racing Equipment jacket in that photo. So thanks, Jeff, for bringing that up just by being here with your wife, Holly, tonight. So that's kind of the cool memories we were going to share with Dennis Darneska. Dennis was involved with our very first show of the Racing Roundup program. He is also an advisory board member of the Kowicki Driver Development Program. And by the way, we put it all together. We're having Dennis on the program as well from his home in Jacksonville, Florida. We'll talk to him about the program. There are 3 drivers from the state of Wisconsin. One will be on our show next week. We'll talk to him about 3 of the 7 drivers in the Kowicki Driver Development Program are in the running, shall we say, for the Kowicki Cup. More on that in a moment here on the program. We also want to give you the world of motorsports in the short track style with our Bonafide Security Solutions short track report with Dean Strom in a while. And it wouldn't be our first show without having our friend Ted Dolan join us. Ted Dolan was involved with us since way back. He used to come with his entire family to the Springdale Inn when we first took this show on the road 29 years ago. Well, when we decided to find a new home, Teddy hooked us up at Monreal's. When we were looking for a different place to go, Teddy was more than involved in getting us where we wanted to get. And we're thankful we're here at Paulies now. I think for our, let's see, this is our 9th or 10th year now at Paulies, I think it is. I remember that sideboard we had up on the wall over there. It said 22 on it. Our first year, now it's year 31. So thanks to Paulie and the entire crew here for having us once again. I can go on for days. I only have a 90-minute program to talk to you about, but we are full of information. We are excited to have you along with us on the radio. We're excited to know that we're also, thanks to our friends at rapinas.com, streaming our webcast live on our website, racingroundup.net, and it's looking pretty good. I see some cameras here. I see some people here. You're welcome to join us at Paulies Pub and Eatery. The food is flowing. The entertainment is about to start here on the program. For the next 90 minutes, you're listening to Nothing But Motorsports on the Racing Roundup program. We also have our NASCAR report, sponsored by Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, to get to as well. It's a full show. Stick around. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show in Milwaukee in the Big 920 and on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back. Hey, everybody, we're back. Thanks for joining us on the Racing Roundup program. I could talk all day, and I guess I talked a little too long during the commercial break because I'm excited about our first guest for 2015. He is the Director of Communications, Communication Director. I think it's the same title, just backwards and forwards, but he does a lot. And we're welcome to have him as a returning guest because he's now been around for a while, and he certainly knows how to get things done at Road America, a great sponsor and support of our show, but also a great place for the family. The phrase is come for the fun, stay for the race, come for the experience, stay for the race. Let's welcome in John Everett of the Road America fame to Racing Roundup. Thank you, John, for coming on.
Thanks, Jim. It's great to be here. 31 years and 60 years for Road America.
Isn't that
How
crazy?
about that?
60 years this year, and you guys are doing it right. Every year it seems to get bigger, and this year's no different.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
60 years, and I'm looking at the schedule. Holy cow.
Yep. We got a lot of stuff going on, and it's all kicking off in just a few weeks.
Now, when it comes to the 60th anniversary, I did read something on roadamerica.com that made a lot of sense to me. Right on the side, it said it's a working museum.
Absolutely.
Because the track's been unchanged. Since Cliff Tufte said we can't race on the streets anymore, let's design something in the quarry over here off the interstate, or off the state highway.
It's a living museum. History is made every weekend, and that's what's really amazing about it is that the track configuration has not changed, so drivers are actually racing in the racing lines that were run by Mario Andretti, Pirelli Jones, David Hobbs,
yes,
Sam Posey,
yes,
all these guys, all the greats.
And really all the Indy greats when they ran Champ Car and IndyCar there, and when you look at stock cars. NASCAR has a history dating back to the 1950s. It rekindled recently, but it's neat to see guys like Chase Elliott get a chance to race at a road course at Road America. There's all sorts of different stories of today, but I do want to focus for a moment on some of the vintage racing you have, because not only are the cars top-notch, but you have a great venue and people want to come see it. It's a great spectacle for the fans to walk about the paddock, and it's all part of your admission, which I like to highlight. May 15th through 17th is the SVRA Vintage to kind of kick things off.
Right, that's our spring vintage weekend, and that's really what's great about Road America. Again, not only are we a living museum, but we have vintage race weekends on either end of our schedule, so you get to see some of the cars that a lot of these legendary drivers used to run that are now owned by a lot of collectors and historians, but these guys aren't putting them in a museum. They're not wiping them with a diver. They're going out there and they're racing these cars. And that's really cool, is you can get really up close and personal to cars that Brian Redmond drove, Sam Posey drove, Parnelli Jones drove, things like that, and actually see these cars out on the track with drivers in them having a good time. And so SVRA Spring Vintage Weekend kicks it off May 15th through the 17th. We also have the Hawk with Brian Redmond, and that's in the middle of July. You can't miss that.
Smack dab
and then
in the
also
middle.
we've got the Elkhart Lake Vintage Festival kind of ending the season. So there's not only history at the track, but there's history with all of the cars that are going to be a part of these vintage events.
And it encompasses the entire summer. You can find out more again at roadamerica.com. September 18th through 20 is that fall vintage event where the leaves are starting to change, and it's really a neat setting altogether. When it talks about the experience, come for the experience, stay for the race, I've noticed some really neat improvements as well at Road America. You continue to evolve and improve for the fans, improve for the racers, the Corvette Bridge. I mean, all these wonderful aspects. I hope fans get to appreciate that, because it takes a lot of effort and a lot of undertaking and a lot of planning and money to do it.
They do. We have generations of fans that keep coming back, and what's really, really cool about this year is that we're adding 4 new large LED big screen TVs around the facility to help improve the experience. So you can be sitting in various turns and actually be watching what's going on track on these screens, the same as we had in Turn 5 last year. We've cleared out a lot of the trees along Turn 11 and 12. So there's some wonderful trails and some wonderful viewing experiences and photography opportunities over along 11 and 12 that have been grown up over the years. So we're making that available for the fans. Terrace seating as well is being added. So we always try to add more improvements to the track.
And when you say corners 11 and 12, I know as a spectator, being at certain points on the course, it's inevitable that you're wondering, oh, where'd they go off? I didn't see him come by. My stopwatch says he should have been by me by now. That's a tricky corner, which can provide a lot of action just to watch and go, wow, I didn't know they could do that. I didn't know they could go flat out through that corner.
Now you have much, much more easier access to get down there and actually see a part of 11 and 12, which is what a lot of people memorize. They have memories of that from their early days, and it got grown up over the years. We've cleared that out and provided some much more access, so we're really excited about that. Once you see it, you'll really appreciate it.
Oh yeah, and is there still things in the works there for some permanent buildings going up along that area as well?
There are some things in the works. There's lots of things in the works that we're hoping to be announcing in the future, and we can't thank the fans enough, because we've had 3 tremendous seasons so far. Last year was one of our best seasons ever, so we're going to keep it rolling.
And I'm sure you've got a lot of input from a lot of people going, hey, if you did this here, and you did that there, if you move that tree, whatever.
Absolutely.
Hey, you know what? Two-wheel racing is big, and I noticed the trail through Milwaukee. It's only an hour north of Milwaukee to Road America. You obviously see it on I-90 going through Madison when it's a bike weekend. people are making the pilgrimage, and it's worth it because it's going to be a great weekend, June 5, 6, and 7. We need to spend a few moments on the Rocker Box Moto Fest featuring the vintage bikes weekend.
Rocker Box is incredibly cool. It's come up from Milwaukee. Last year was our first year having it, and everybody that's a cafe racer, if you've got a Norton, if you've got a Triumph, if you've got, you know, an old Aprilia and things like this, if you any kind of motorcycle you have, a lot of guys are taking Hondas and Yamahas and Kawasaki's and stripping them down to the frame and tricking them out, even Harleys. This is something that's really, really unique for vintage motorcycle enthusiasts because Rocker Box is a bike show. It's also a festival. We're going to have bands. We're going to have a microbrew tasting, a whole lot of different things going on. And on top of that, you're going to have ARMA vintage motorcycle racing going on the track. That's going to be on Saturday. So we encourage people to ride up. We also have different options to where you can actually haul your bike from Milwaukee up there, kind of like a valet service for your cafe racer or even your
if you
scooter.
don't want to put 80 miles on your bike, even if you're from Illinois, it's only 90 miles away if you don't want to run that long.
Yeah, a lot of people like to ride in. We have a lot of clubs riding in, but if you don't feel like it, we're going to have options with that with haul bikes. And what's really cool about it is we're going to have gear checks and different things going on. So come up there with your bike, see a part of the bike show, listen to some bands, have some great food, see what's going on. There's going to be a lot of vendors and things like that. So that's always fun for people who are also vintage enthusiasts, getting into the whole cafe racer scene, people who have been involved in the scene for a long time.
And Rocker Box is established. It's just now for the second year at Road America. So the vendors that come, they probably have all the good stuff. Like, man, if I had that Triumph patch on my worn-out jacket, I could take that. Well, guess what? You might find a brand new one from 1971 in the vendor display.
You can get everything from a belt buckle to a cylinder head for a 78 Bonneville. You know, you never know. You know, that's what's really great about it. A lot of people have a really kick-ass time.
That's June 5, 6, and 7. Again, all this information is on roadamerica.com, but I want to spend a few more moments about some of the signature events as well. The WeatherTech June Sprint's coming back, June 11 through 14. That is a signature event for the SCCA club racers. And it's a huge turnout, one of the largest in the country.
Well, definitely one of the largest in the country. Hundreds of cars, well over almost 400 cars. And on top of that, it's the 60th anniversary for the June Sprints as well. So we're really, really proud because the SCCA has supported us for years, and now they're going to continue doing that. So we can't be more excited. We love the fact that WeatherTech has been involved with the June Sprints as long as it has, because this is something to where the grassroots of the sport has evolved. And it still keeps going. Fathers and sons and grandfathers still keep coming back. So we really appreciate the SCCA's support, and the WeatherTech June Sprints is just a perfect weekend in June to do it.
And if you like what you see on the race course, that's called real-time racing out of West Bend. A guy named Petey Cunningham has a couple of Acuras that are all souped up, ready to go.
Love those guys.
Winningest driver in the Pirelli World Challenge, gets a chance to race at his home track again, Road America. I can't be more pleased to see those awesome cars come back to the 4-mile road course.
I'm equally excited because they also just brought on Ryan Eversley this year, who just won at St. Pete. And Ryan is an incredible guy. He's a good racer. He
was on our show last year.
He's been on the show before.
We've actually talked on Twitter together. He's a famous guy.
So Ryan's got a tremendous following. He's just a great guy. So hopefully we're going to bring him back right before the Pirelli World Challenge this year, now that he's with Real Time, because we love those guys. And Pirelli World Challenge is going to be an amazing event as well. I think they had well over 140 cars at Circuit of the Americas on COTA earlier with the season. Now they're heading over to Long Beach. So when they come here this year, if you want to see everything from a Mini Cooper to a Bentley on track, that's the Pirelli World Challenge.
Correct,
it's incredible what kind of cars are out there and what these guys are doing.
And the four-wheel drive Acuras, Ryan got on the pole and won in the wet. So if it gets a little damp on the backside, whoop, see ya.
That kid's dialed in, and he loves some spotted cow every time he comes up here to Wisconsin.
And you know what? I will make this promise. If the Pirelli World Challenge is coming June 27th through 29th, if he shows up, say, that Tuesday before, or when you bring him in, I could actually have him sit next to us for the whole show if he wants.
Oh, absolutely. He could carry the whole entire show.
We'll keep filling the spotted cow glass. He'll have some fun. We'll see the webcast numbers go through the roof because he's got such a great following. It's not selfish for us, but I think it'd be kind of fun to have more than just a segment with the kid.
Yeah, he's very excited. He cut his teeth. He's earned it. You know, he's a self-made guy, and I tell you what, I'm very proud that he's with Real Time, and so excited to have him coming back here.
Yeah, he gets to play with some fancy cars when he's not racing that car as well. I'm jealous.
Yeah, that's right.
You mentioned the Hockey International Challenge with Brian Redmond. That's July 15 through 19. Then the big boys of the Tudor United Sports Car Championship come back in August. It's a great traditional weekend, August 6 through 9. I was in Daytona for the Rolex 24. I saw George Brugenthieves walk in the paddock. I got excited to see those cars, and I can't wait to see them back in their true setting here at Road America.
Truly one of our greatest weekends. Everybody looks forward to coming out and camping and being a part of this. It's we're going to have the two-door cars and the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge cars, and it's the Continental Tire Sports Car Challenge weekend, so we're really, really excited about that. Our paddock was massively filled before all of the merger went on a couple of years ago, and it's still going to be filled with incredible cars, incredible teams. It's sort of the the last amazing part of the summer. But then again, we've now moved the NASCAR event to late August, so now NASCAR is going to be coming shortly after that. So August is just going to be a month full of incredible racing.
We should remind the fans that the MX-5 Cup is coming back with Trans Am, and the NASCAR Xfinity Series weekend has moved to August 27th through 29th.
Right, exactly.
And it's an off-Cup weekend, I think, right?
It's an off-Cup weekend, and I tell you what, we got a lot of drivers that are sort of chomping at the bit. I know for a fact that Paul Menard's going to be up here racing.
Good.
Boris Said is going to be up here racing for the
because you always
Gibbs
had a
team.
conflict.
That's right. And hopefully we're going to get some other popular names. There's some teams working out some specifics right now, but you're probably going to see some Cup drivers coming up for the NASCAR Xfinity Series event August 29th, and we're really excited about that because this is probably, I don't want to say your one shot, but your earliest shot to really see some Cup drivers come up here and doing some road course, cutting their teeth on some road course racing up here.
Should I be worried about my campsite now for NASCAR weekend?
I really think you should, and what's also really cool about just go ahead and get your campsite early because not only are you getting the advance price, but you can print all your information at home, and you don't really have to worry about it getting mailed to you.
Yeah, right.
So we have that available too, which is really, really cool. Just print your tickets at home.
And I also noticed this at RunAmerica.com. During major race weekends, one winning campsite will be selected as the most awesome campsite contest winner. A trophy presentation will be held at Road America, and the winner will receive a free campsite and 4 weekend tickets to the 2016 Road America race of their choice. The judging is on best representation of Road America's spirit, creativity, and uniqueness. There's a lot of creative people in racing.
It's incredibly fun, and we have some of the best fans, like I've said before, and these guys get so creative when it comes to decorating their campsites. We've had people do it with an Oscar-type theme. We've had people do it with we had guys create a Risk board that looked like Road America, and they all dressed up as various dictators from various countries and things like that to where they were literally playing the game
You're
Risk.
setting the bar there then.
Absolutely. We had a guy with an 18-foot-high inflatable purple gorilla. We had a guy with an actual real-life-size teepee. So, I mean, you never know what you're going to see in the campgrounds, and it's all fun. It's very family-oriented, and you can't ask for anything better. So every event, we encourage people to sort of come up, decorate their campsite, be a part of that, hopefully win a campsite for the next season.
Yeah.
And at the same part in time, we encourage fans to go around and look at some of their great campsites, share their photos on Instagram, Twitter, and also Facebook with the hashtag #IWasThere, and we might find some photos and share that on our big screen.
Now, that big screen's going to be pretty cool.
Absolutely.
I'm looking forward to hanging out on NASCAR weekend with you guys, if you let me.
Oh, without
I'm
question.
looking forward to that already.
Yeah.
The neat thing is the kids are very well taken care of as well. They can ride their bikes all day. It's a safe environment. You can go all the way around the racetrack if you want. You can sit in one area. You can move. You can migrate. You can rent golf carts if you want for a day or a couple of hours, bum one off of somebody.
A lot of events will have the family fun zone going on at quite a few events, and on top of that, we have open karting at a lot of events where you can go down to the Road America Motorplex and rent go-karts for the family and things like that. So it's really, really fun, and we couldn't ask for anything better. You know, we got an incredible season coming up, an incredible schedule, so there's lots of great things for the families. Come up and again, stay for the experience, or come for the experience, stay for the race.
So I got to get
parking, and parking is free.
Parking's free. You got to rent your motorhome spot just so you get the right spot you want. But parking's free, and kids 12 and under with a paid adult.
Kids 12 and under get in free with a paid adult.
That's
exactly.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Exactly. Can't ask for anything better than that. It's a family staycation at Road America.
Wow, you hear all that? Come for the experience, stay for the race. I also want to bring up one more thing. And it's neat because if you're into racing, or if you're planning something fun, or hey, where can we go in the state of Wisconsin? We can drive around. Well, guess what? There's actually sunset cruises now. Mm-hmm. You can go on the Road America website, roadamerica.com, pick up one of the brochures we have here with us. We'll have it at every racing roundup show. We have a display table. You can look on there for a discount offer. You can actually set your schedule because there are 4 dates that are selected dates for the sunset cruise of the course. You can reserve right now on roadamerica.com.
Absolutely, and if you've ever wanted to actually drive the track in your own vehicle, bring the family and get to experience history for yourself and drive in the same racing lines that some of your heroes get to drive in. It's a great, affordable, fun evening for everybody.
And it's a quick deal. You know the day, you know the time, you've already got it reserved, and you can just kind of travel on through, not have to stay long.
Exactly. Show up, take a lap around Road America or a couple laps of the Sunset Cruise, stop in at the paddock shop, purchase some souvenirs, things like that. It's a perfect evening.
And the first one is June 5th, and it's for bikes only. But the neat thing about that is it's the same weekend as the Rocker Box.
It's the same weekend, so if you have your bike up there, if you're thinking about riding up there, if you want to come up and do various things, take a ride around the track. Can't ask for anything better than that.
How else can we help you, John? We have commercials to play, all that fun stuff. How else can we help get the word out? We want to make sure this show is part of what you guys do in your 60th season.
Well, we're very, very proud to be associated with Racing Roundup. We've been associated with you guys for a long time, and you guys have done a top-notch opportunity, a great job for us, and it's an incredible opportunity to be associated with you. We can't ask for anything more. We're hoping to have some more riders and drivers on throughout the season, and just have you guys be a part of our 60th anniversary season is a tremendous honor for us.
And we thank you for the tickets we'll give away tonight and in future Racing Roundup shows for some of these great events. Go to roadamerica.com. Put your hands together for John Everett from Road America. Thank you, John, for taking the time, joining us here at the Racing Roundup program. And thanks for being part of our 31st season in your 60th.
Absolutely. Can't ask for anything better than that.
All right, John, thanks so much. Make sure you sign our MB Sign Code backdrop. That's a brand new edition. We have a new one each year. John will be the first one to sign it. Every guest on the program gets to sign it. If you want to be a guest on our show, send us an email. You can find the link on our website, racingroundup.net, to be on our program. You also can find out more show information, who's coming on next week's show. We've got a great program already. And by all means, we've got Sharpies here somewhere. I'll find them for John to sign. We've got a lot of things to talk about here. On our program, we've got on the way Greg McCarnes, who's hanging out with his wife, Angie, here at the show. He now owns Madison International Speedway and is the man in charge of the ARCA Midwest Tour. We also going to talk to Ted Dolan, brought a whole bunch of friends with him here tonight. We're talking to Teddy. His race car is right out front. Thank you, Ted, for bringing the car down. We also have the NASCAR report on the way, the short track report from Bonafide Security Solutions and Dean Strom on the way. And next, we're talking to Dennis Zarneska, who is the Kawicki Driver Development Program. He developed this program some 32 years ago, sitting around with his friends, Daryl Dodds and Terry Jeffords. Will rehash some of that and tell you about the great program ahead on the Kawicki Driver Development Program. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show in Milwaukee in the Big 920 and on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to the Racing Roundup program for the 31st season of our program on the Big 920 in Milwaukee, the Big 920 in Madison. I'm Jim Trado. Thanks for being on the program with us and sharing your Tuesday afternoon with us. Got room for you here at Paulies Pub and Eatery next Tuesday. Great show. We're on every Tuesday between now and September 29th. Don't miss a show. You can watch us, what we do, on our website, racingroundup.net. Thanks to our friends at Rapina's Fine Foods and rapinas.com. This portion of the broadcast is brought to you by Miller's Sales and Service. They've got the right trailer for your needs. They have a great selection of Bravo enclosed trailers, Big Tex, Chilton, Reliable, and B&B Dump Utility and equipment trailers. Let Miller's Sales and Service hook you up with the right trailer at the right price. Call 920-994-4358 and ask for Brad, Jerry, or Tom. That number again, 920-994-4358. Miller's Sales and Service. All their inventories online at millerssales.com. As I mentioned, this program started 31 years ago in the studio at WAUK. I think I'd say those call letters. Yeah, I think I can. And then they took it on the road. They being Terry Jeffords, Joyce Jeffords, Dennis Arneska, Daryl Dobbs, and then co-host Todd Bailing, who is here tonight. He came along as well. Dennis and Daryl, I think, co-hosted those first few years. It's great to have on one of the originators of the program and very involved in the Quickie Driver Development Program today. From his home in Jacksonville, Florida, let's welcome in on the program, Dennis Arneska. Hey, Denny, welcome back to the program.
Hey, Jimmy, it's great to be back, and congratulations on 31 years. You guys have done an absolutely awesome job over the years, and, proud to see how far you guys have brought it along.
Well, you were a big part of it, and in the early 2000s, you said, I want to do this right, and you took time out of your job and made this part of your career for a while. Thank you for that, to keep the things rolling and keep it going. We have friends like Dave Schmalzer, who continues to be above and beyond one of our key guys here at the show, and we couldn't do it without him. We couldn't have done it without you all those years as well, Dennis. And as we think back to those who we don't have with us anymore, Terry Jeffords, Joyce Jeffords, Daryl Dobbs, Alan Kowicki comes to mind as well. I know that was one of our signature shows, April 4th, 1993, some 4 or 5 days after Alan passed away, and it still sits with us these days, 22 years later. But it's great to know your friend and our friend of the show, Tom Roberts, who was Alan's PR guy while working as Rusty Wallace's PR guy, is now the executive director of the Quickie Driver Development Program, and you're involved with it as well. I couldn't be more pleased with who you selected of the drivers I know. Well, let's talk more about how this is helping Alan's legacy certainly live alive and well.
Well, it truly is, and we really have to thank the Quickie family for funding this wonderful event. Selma and her family have done so much to keep Alan's legacy alive. I mean, through the scholarship program at the University of North Carolina, Charlotte, of course, University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee, and now through this Quickie Driver Development Program, they've invested so much of Alan's estate into keeping his legacy alive. And so with that, that is really the mission of what we're attempting to do. I mean, we are looking for the next potential Alan Quickie, which obviously, many of us feel that that's probably not going to happen, in our lifetime. But we were looking for individuals that best exemplified the hard work that Alan put into it, the things that Alan stood for, how he did it, Tom Roberts, as executive director, put together a 7-person advisory board. It's a very impressive board. Paul Andrews, Alan's crew chief, is a member of the board, and Tony Gibson, who was with Danica and now with Kurt Busch, and was Alan's car chief at the time. Tom Grady, who was an advisor to Alan back in the day. And then we have some folks from Wisconsin, Father Dale Gruba and Jim Thumper Ross, and Jim was very, very instrumental in Alan Quickie Park. So, with these board members and Jan Beatty, who actually, she's out of North Carolina, who oversees a lot of the funding and stuff for the Quickie family, we're making a lot of decisions on it. Now, Tom and Jeff Horwath, who actually is also from Wisconsin, Jeff is the executive assistant to Tom. They don't have voting power, but they are very influential in everything that we do. So, just started out with an application form, and first year we didn't know how many we were going to get, and we had 76 applications from all over the country that came in this first year. And we feel that now that the word is really out, that it's going to get bigger and bigger next year.
There are 7 drivers you selected out of all that entered. You initially announced the batch of 15, and that got whittled down. Late model driving experience is what you look for. There are 3 drivers from the state of Wisconsin. As it turns out, Dennis, next week, Tuesday, on the Racing Roundup Show, we will have 2 of the 7 drivers on our program. We're going to have Steve April in person with our friends from Slinger Speedway. We're also promoting the May 3rd Joe Shear Classic at Madison. And we'll be speaking on the phone with Ty Majeski, who's currently going to school at Madison for engineering. So it's going to be fun. The 3rd driver from Wisconsin that we hope to talk to soon is a 21-year-old female driver, Regan May. And you saw all the resumes, and we could talk about the other drivers at another time, but I'm satisfied that there's 3 drivers from Allen's home state, and certainly each are very worthy. How difficult was it to choose these 7?
Well, it was really, really difficult, Jim. I mean, I was, any one of the 76 applicants could have very easily represented the Quickie Driver Development Program. We again looked at things that, of course, driving accomplishments were part of the criteria. But we did phone interviews. When we whittled down to 15, we did phone interviews with all 15 participants. The program itself is it's really connecting with the fans at the track. It's working with news reporters and broadcasters and being active on social media. It's something that these drivers really came across as being passionate about. And beyond that, we know that these 7 drivers are gonna share the far and wide mission program of Allen's legacy. Many of these, well, probably all of them were not around when Allen was winning his way to the Winter Cup Championship, and yet they did their homework. Many of them were told by their parents about Allen. Young Justin Kreider out of Statesville, North Carolina, 18 years old, drives a black and orange number 7 his entire career because Allen was his hero. So he was talked about, he was told about Allen by his mom and dad, and he read about Allen, and he kind of patterned himself after. The 3 drivers from Wisconsin, when you look at Regan May, who's the preferred Wisconsin driver, I mean, this young lady, she's committed, she's told, we were told she's relentless and very conscientious and very active on social media, and she's got one heck of a future ahead of her. Allis says, Steve April and Ty Majeski. Holy cow. I guess Ty recently, just this past weekend, I came to a race in Ohio, and was quite quick. I didn't figure out. I didn't find out what the results were for.
Yeah, I finished 11th in the 7-up 150. Yep, 11th, excuse me, in that race. Probably one of his worst finishes in 3 years. 11th, yeah. Tough competition too.
Yeah, I mean, and that's we have a 15-year-old, Bryce Napier, out of Scotts Valley, California. Bryce this past weekend raced against some of the Xfinity drivers that came and ran, and there were a couple of other very veteran champion drivers from all over the state of California and from the Southwest. And he qualified 7th, was running 9th when he had some mechanical problems. He dropped out of the race with 20 laps to go. But here's the young kid that keep an eye on him as well, Bryce Napier. Cole Williams, 18 years old, won Nashville Fairgrounds Plate Championship last year. Darrell Waltrip and Sterling Mountain both won the championship at that track, so that they breed very good talent out of those tracks. But Jim, the main thing is that it's not just about what they do on the track; it's just off the track. A few of these drivers are going to school for mechanical engineering. The young man Dave Barrington out of Maine, he's going for his master's. I would strongly suggest that you go to the KDDP Facebook webpage or QuickieDriverDevelopment.com and just take a look at all the drivers. I'm especially proud of our drivers from Wisconsin, and I think we particularly looked at that because that's where Allen's home state is, and so many great drivers have come out of the state of Wisconsin and cut their teeth there. And we all know Jimmy Johnson and Mark Martin ran there, and Rusty Wallace in the early days, of course, the legendary Dick Trickle, and congratulations to Rich Bickle. I mean, Wisconsin has just done nothing but bred tremendous short track drivers. Wisconsin's been so blessed, and they've gone on to great things. So I'm hopeful that these drivers will be competing for the Quickie Cup, the first one. Each driver gets $7,777 now, and at the end of the year, based on a hybrid point system that we're putting together right now, which will take into account on-track results, off-track management with the fans and the social media, community involvement, and most importantly, how they really promote Allen's legacy. There'll be a winner just to get 7 times $7,777, which is over $54,000 for the winner. So pretty substantial for a short track program.
It's a substantial effort, and we're looking forward to follow this throughout the season here on the Racing Roundup program. You can bet your dollar that we are going to be keeping track of these young drivers as they make their way through, and we'll follow them very closely throughout the 2015 campaign. Dennis, thanks for taking the time to join us here on tonight's first show of the 31st season, bud. Couldn't do without you.
Well, thank you again, and just check out the KDVT on Facebook and at Twitter at KDVT, DDP.com, and just want to shout out also, Speed51.com is our official media sponsor. You can watch a lot of our drivers right there at Speed51.
Awesome. Speed 51 is a marketing partner as well. KowickiDDP.com is the website to go to find out more information as they'll continue to follow the progress and develop these young drivers into hopefully champions like Allen has been and champion the cause for what he is able to support. And, of course, the legacy lives on through that as well. Thank you, Dennis Zarneska, for joining us on the program. We appreciate it very much. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we're talking Madison. We're talking Madison International Speedway. We're talking ARCA Midwest Tour season opener at Madison coming up May 3rd, the Joe Shear Classic, presented by Skag Power Equipment. We have the man in charge. Greg McCarnes is going to be joining us here on the program. He's been patiently waiting his turn on our first show of the 31st season. Come on down and join us. We're at Paulies Pub and Eatery, 81st and Greenfield. This is the Racing Roundup Show. Stay tuned. You're listening to us in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back.
Hey, Jimmy, by chance?
And we are back on the Racing Roundup program. Glad to have you with us. This portion of the Racing Roundup show is brought to you by our friends at Borchardt Speed Automotive, Wisconsin's largest speed shop at 6101 South 27th Street in Greenfield. Get your race car or street car dyno tested with Borchardt's in-house dyno. Drive your car into the dyno bay. Watch how much horsepower your car gets at the rear wheels. You can maximize your performance at Borchardt Speed Automotive, home of the 34th annual Father's Day Car Show on Sunday, June 21st. We are now happily joined by a gentleman who is busy, and I'm glad we can actually stop him from going from A to B and C to D and A to Z in a given day. He's a busy guy. He now owns Madison International Speedway. He now owns the ARCA Midwest Tour. Let's welcome in person, Mr. Greg McCarnes. Greg, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us on.
I didn't realize you were making your debut on the show. This is kind of a good way to kick off our season.
Yeah, I've called in a few times, but I've been in Paulies a few times and had a few beers in here, but this is the first time we combined them.
You've actually remembered being in Paulies?
I remember coming in.
I was hoping you'd say something like that.
Yeah.
You know, as a matter of fact, you brought your glass of beer with you. It's more than fine here at Paulies to enjoy a glass of beer while we're here at the show. You asked if it's okay. I said yes, but I only have enjoyed beer on the show when Dick Trickle's been my co-host. And I don't usually drink beer on the show, but that was my exception.
I understand. He's the only guy to ever smoke a cigarette in my pickup truck, too. So we all make exceptions for Mr. Triple.
Yes, we have. And now, speaking of that, your family, the McCarnes family, has been involved in racing a long time. It's something you could have said, man, it's crazy. I don't know if they want to stuff one more windshield wiper with a flyer at the racetrack to support the next ARTCO race. Your mom, Sue, and Dad, John, of course, forming ARTCO and forming the Enduro Series, and now the auctions and all those wonderful things. You really grasp it hard, and I can't be more proud of what you're able to do now with what you're doing now. When did this all come together where you said, I want to step away from what I was doing last year and really focus on? You said you were taking some time. Last fall.
It's a when I went off to college, the whole goal was that I was going to take over the ARTCO series.
Yep.
And as I pushed off into the dorms freshman year, NASCAR approached my parents to take that series over, and all of a sudden I was sitting without a home, and I turned my attention towards weekly racing, but always wanted to get back into the touring racing. But my lifelong dream is to own my own racetrack and run it like the family farm. And unfortunately, we had to remove ourselves from Rockford. We were there for 10 years and run the Big 8 Series for the last 10 years and had a great time doing it, and love all the people involved with it, and we still talk a lot. But in order to make that next step, we had to take a step back and put ourselves in a position to be able to close the deal on Madison and the Midwest Tour and those things so that we could move forward. And it was always the Midwest Tour is based on what ARTCO was, so it's cool that everything's come full circle, and we can control super late model racing in the Midwest and get it back into the glory days. And 30 years from now, people will be talking about how great 2015 was and 2016 and so on, and when Ty Majeski and Skylar Holzhausen battled it out instead of Scott Hansen and Al Schill.
Yeah.
It'll be the new generation, and we'll bring that to life.
He's doing this radio thing pretty good. We're in a live audience, and Al Schill's sitting right there, and right behind him is Scott Hansen. So this works out really good.
They're battling for who got their beer first.
Yep, and they're going to race probably to the restroom in about 10 minutes, and then come back and race some more, figure another way to race.
Yep.
But it's great to know that you've got the support of a lot of people, and you need that support, incling this coming Saturday. You've got your cleanup day.
Yeah, we got to clean up.
Let's get the word out now.
Yeah, cleanup day at Madison, 10 o'clock in the morning. It's everything from painting the walls, breaking leaves, putting new screws in the bleacher boards. I got a whole list in my office of things that we're going to do. Angie and I are going to go to Home Depot on Friday night, pick up all the supplies, load up a couple pickup trucks, and have everything ready to go. And the Madison track was close to not being a racetrack anymore.
Yes.
And I got that phone call, and I thought we were going to announce the deal last fall, and then all of a sudden the college was trying to get it for police training. And I hung up the phone, and I said, I'm sad because it isn't going to happen for us, but I'm absolutely heartbroken to think that Madison Speedway could not be a racetrack. I mean, we just had our kids there this summer enjoying the races, and now it may not be. And so it sure was cool when Terry Kunis and I were able to get back together here in early January and put a deal together to secure that future. And as I told the drivers the other night, this isn't Greg's next stop. This isn't, Greg's going to go here, then he's going to go to Daytona, or he's going to go to Charlotte. I've had those offers. That isn't where I want to be. Short track racing is where my heart is, and there's no place I'd rather be. This is where I want to retire from. This is the track that we're going to build our legacy with, and what a great place to do it.
really continue your legacy, if I could keep your modesty a little in check, because you've done a lot of things. You worked at I-44 Speedway in Lebanon, Missouri. You moved your family to Elko, Minnesota, and started raising your kids there. Then, or actually, your family came along in Rockford years, right? Because your kids aren't that old.
4 months in Elko with kids, yeah.
So the idea is your young family is going to be part of this as well.
Yeah, Al's a big airsoft gun, the new BB guns with airsoft. He's already got the field figured out behind 3 and 4 on how to do that, and they know how to hand out flyers and sell programs. And Evie is our 8-year-old daughter, and she's got things figured out. So it's going to be fun to watch them grow up around the racetrack. I look back at my youth, and I wouldn't trade it for the world.
And the neat thing about it is you're doing it the right way, I believe. You're doing it with the support of the racers. And the ARCA Midwest Tour was the first thing you got your hands on, officially announced.
Yep.
I saw you at the PRI show in Indianapolis, and it was a lot to take in. I could see you trying to make sure you could secure what this future will be for the series. By announcing these touring stars you've already announced, I'd say you've got a pretty good handle on these racers know they can race and have fun racing in this series each and every time you run.
Yeah, we were trying to build that base and get super late model racing back to the glory days of days gone by. And that being said, we're going to make our own mark. We have a lot of past track champions, a lot of guys that have been in victory lane that maybe aren't household names like they should be, and that's up to us to make that happen and to put it in on the right footing. So a guy like Ty Majeski, who's going to be on the show next week, there's a guy that has a chance of making it big. I mean, you just watch him race, he's got a chance. Ricky Baker's a 2-time Grundy County Speedway champion. And then Skylar Holshausen, Austin Nason, those guys have that chance to move up. Casey Johnson's a young driver and he won features at 5 racetracks last year, which doesn't sound like a lot, but no one else in the country's doing that. Nobody's winning races at multiple tracks anymore, and this guy's doing it.
He's been scraping together cash to put the motor in the car. I mean, it's not like he's just playing with money on what do I want to race next.
No, I mean, these guys can show up any race that they can go down south and win during speed weeks. They proved that. Nason and Majeski did that. Casey Johnson, I'm a big Casey Johnson fan. I know I shouldn't be a fan of anyone, but I mean, here this kid has won in everything he's been put in, and it's just awesome to see. Who knows where his career is going to go? And then the Weinkaufs are, the Central Wisconsin mainstay. Jonathan Island out of Minnesota. He used to run Thunder Cars when we ran Elko, and now he's a Midwest Tour champion. So you just never know how it's going to go. But I mean, I'll put these 14 guys, and there's a bunch of guys that aren't on the list that I know are going to run the majority of the shows. And when we put all those cars together on a short track on a Friday night, Saturday night, or a Tuesday night, it's going to be a show that fans want to see and want to come back for.
So we have Greg McCarnes, who owns the ARCA Midwest Tour. He owns the Madison International Speedway racetrack. The Worlds Converge for you on Sunday afternoon, May 3rd. The Midwest Mid-Am Stock Car Series will be there. Midwest Trucks will be there. And, of course, the ARCA Midwest Tour will be there.
Yep, the Joe Shearer Classic presented by Skag Power Equipment. It's a 2 o'clock start. Goal is to keep that show moving so people are back on the road by 5 o'clock. We're very mindful of that. Keep things rolling. 100-lap green flag feature. And it's going to be the best cars in the Midwest battling out on the best track in the Midwest, Madison Speedway.
You brought along some flyers. We want to say for the next couple of weeks, we have a pair of tickets to give away tonight and next week and the week after. But if you want to help promote this race,
we got
posters.
We got the posters in the back. Our season schedules in the back. Make sure you pick those up. There's flyers back there as well. On the back of that's the Ileana race, which is really cool, coming up Memorial Day weekend. So just we're involved in about 30 events this year, and each one of them is special. And I've been doing 60 events for the last 10 years. So this is like working halftime, but it's going to feel like 90 events.
It's going to be
fun. A lot of excitement around every event that we're a part of, and we hope that the fans and drivers. It's not about Greg and Angie McCarnes building short track racing back. It's about the industry as a whole coming together and getting this back. So it's not a one-man deal. It's not a one-family project. It's going to take everyone out there to make this what we want, and we're just steering the ship. But we need everyone to help make it happen and buy in and row that boat in the same direction. And if we do that, better days are ahead.
You've got our bullhorn. We're behind you 100%. We want to do everything we can to help you, bud.
I appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
MISRacing.com is the track website. ARCAMidwestTour.com is the series website. You can buy tickets online. Find out more about what time things happen. We'll talk to a couple of drivers between now and May 3rd. But do know that Sunday afternoon, May 3rd, at 2 p.m., a new era begins. We couldn't be more proud of Greg and Angie McCarnes and what they're doing in our efforts to continue the great tradition of short track racing in Wisconsin. I want to say that for Greg McCarnes. Thank you, Greg, for all you do. Appreciate your insights and time here. Hope to see you in a couple weeks, maybe before the. Can we have you back on before maybe the Friday night opener? What do you think?
Yeah, we'll be back on the 12th.
All right, we'll see you then. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to another great racing season as well at Madison International Speedway. You might even see a billboard on the backstretch. It says Racing Roundup Show. I like to see it right by the scoreboard. If you want to position yourself next to that, you got to talk to Greg because I want to keep that spot if that's okay.
Yeah, we'll sell them the
Okay. Yeah, you'll probably sell them the one I have. That's okay. I want to support you. If it means you're making money, good for it. Hey, we got a lot to cover on the program. We have a guest who's been on our first show, I think, for at least 20 years. He's been racing for longer than that. He's still winning races, and he built a brand new dirt late model for the 2015 season. Our next guest on the program is none other than Ted Dolan. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Racing Roundup program live in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Racing Roundup program. We are live at Paulies Pub and Eatery on the Racing Roundup program. If you party with Paulie, you remember it because it's a lot of fun. And if you've not partied with Paulie, here's what you're missing. It serves up Milwaukee's best pizza, outstanding wings, and a great pub menu. Paulie's Kitchen is open every night late with nightly specials. Monday is wing night. Tuesday night is burger specials. Wednesday is Reuben's. Thursday and Saturdays offer pizza specials. Plus Paulie's soon-to-be-famous fish fry. Party on the patio this summer with Paulie. It's open right now. That's where Greg and Angie had dinner earlier. Paulie's has 18 flat-screen TVs wherever you look to catch all your favorite sports. Like Paulie's on Facebook and check out Paulie's website, pauliespuband.eatery.com. Paulie's Pub and Eatery is right here at 81st and Greenfield. Have you partied with Paulie? You should. And Paulie's Party Patrol is rewarding as well. He'll send you emails, give you great offers. I got an email the other day. It said, here's $3 off next time you show up. It didn't say anything about you got to purchase this or whatever else, so there's cool things like that. He also has a great soup and salad buffet every day at lunch, Monday through Thursday. We now are talking at Paulies about racing. Yeah, I'll get back to that in a minute here. We've got some great specials and special guests on our first program. One of those happens to be the host of our Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report. Hey, Dean Strom, welcome back to the show for another year.
That's me. How you doing, Jimmy?
Good.
It is good to be back. Place is full, a lot of familiar faces. Racing season must be just around the corner, huh?
And I want to interrupt you by saying that I scribbled down. I'm sorry if I forgot you. I'm just keeping the list going here. In the audience tonight, Alan Gwen Schill. Good to see you guys here. Jeff and Holly Quadre. I haven't seen you guys in a while. Great to see you. Donnie Shuffler's back. Thank you, Donnie. Alan Lewis Teacher here, Hall of Famer. Dennis Donovan's here. Scott Hansen, his wife Nancy. I see Russ Lake is here. Jimmy Evans is here. Faye and Jim Hendricks. So we got some pretty cool, pretty high rollers in the audience.
Yes, we do. I felt like when I walked in here, I felt like I was running for office. Like shaking all the hands.
Well, you are an elected official.
Well, I am,
Yeah.
but we
Right.
Hey, this is the Bonafide Security Solutions Short Track Report to select the right business and residential security system for your needs, including alarm systems, closed circuit, and card access. It's a lock. Contact a Great Wisconsin Short Track supporter at 262-790-9400 or go online, bonafidesafe.com. Well, after 11 years of waiting, a rain delay of 1 hour was nothing for Bobby Wilberg, one of the most notable and consistent drivers in the history of the Big 8 late model series. Wilberg had never visited Victory Lane in a Big 8 Series event. That changed Sunday afternoon at the 38th Annual Spring Classic when Wilberg bested 25 other competitors in the 88-lap season-opening race at Rockford Speedway. Wilberg raced inside the top 5 all day long, slipped past two-time Big 8 Series champion Casey Johnson with 15 to go. Following some contact, entering Turn 1, sent Johnson up towards the Turn 1 wall, ending his quest for victory and his race. 11 cars were involved in a lap 1 incident that changed the complexion of the race from 10th on back. When the dust settled and the checkers flew, it was Jacob Guiley second behind Wilberg. 2014 Rockford Speedway champion John Reynolds Jr.
Driver X.
Driver X. And Michael Backus was fourth. Wayne Freeman rounded out the top 5. Michael Bilderback was sixth. West Bend driver Duke Long, Slinger regular, he was 10th. And Casey Johnson slipped back to 10th in the final rundown. Bobby Wilberg was the fast qualifier. The Big 8 Series now off until early June.
Duke will be on our show next week. He's bringing his race car.
He's you're going to have to ask Duke about how he got interested in racing and how he actually got behind the wheel.
I might ask you to ask
It's a
him
good
that.
story.
All right.
All right. Mid-American Stock Car Series, under the guidance of new co-owner Dave Grunberg, also helped usher in the 2015 race season at Rockford Speedway this past weekend. Tyler Bauknecht went to Victory Lane ahead of former series champions Jeff Holtz and Rick Corso. Scott Dunning, Bill Preetzel, they completed the top 5. Tyler Bauknecht doesn't race with the Mid-American Series very often. Like last year, he raced maybe 2 times.
Okay.
He won one of them.
All right.
The year before that, he ran 2 or 3 times. He won one of those. So he's when he shows up, he is definitely a threat to win, and he did so Sunday afternoon again at Rockford Speedway. Tough day for a friend of the show, Ryan Gutnick, and his Oak Creek Automotive gang. They hung a new body on the number 01 over the winter and promptly got the right front corner of that torn off and came up a little bit short in the finishing rundown.
I saw the Facebook footage. He got snipped.
Not pretty?
No.
Mid-American Stock Car Series back in action May 3rd. You heard Greg McCarnes talk about May 3rd at Madison International Speedway. They will be in action as part of the Joe Shear Classic. Open wheel racing, Wayne Johnson took advantage of a spin by leader Terry McCarl to claim the inaugural feature event for the FVP National Sprint League. Saturday night, 34 Raceway, West Burlington, Iowa.
The NSL.
NSL. The Knoxville, Iowa driver took command on lap 18, held off Terry McCarl on a late restart. So after leading the first 17 laps, Terry McCarl did a 360, kept right on going, only lost 2 spots, got one of them back at the finish. He finished second, and Brian Clausen was third. So the NSL getting things going. Bill Baylog, we had him on the show in years past, racing full-time in 2015. He was 11th. Danny Lasowski was a fast qualifier, 40 cars on hand as the NSL ushered in a new era of sprint car racing.
And they're co-sanctioning your race. I know at least one race at Angel Park Speedway at the IRA this year.
Grant Enfinger made it 3 wins in a row to open up the 2015 ARCA Racing Series Saturday night at Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. He missed qualifying inspection. They found some problems on the rear end of the car, so the crew was working on the car, so they missed qualifying inspection, had to start at the tail end of the field. By lap 79, he was leading.
Yeah.
Pole sitter, new track record holder Kyle Weatherman led the first 71 laps. Pretty much after that, it was all Grant Enfinger. Matt Tift, in search of his first ARCA victory after a number of strong top 5 finishes, Chase Infinger to the end, but couldn't come any closer than a few car lengths. Austin Wayne Self was third, Brandon Jones fourth, and Weatherman was fifth. Enfinger will go for a record fourth win in a row to start the season in 2 weeks, Salem, Indiana. Of course, the short track racing season here in the upper Midwest just getting going. It kicks into high gear in the coming weeks. Let's see, we've got IRA Sprints in action this weekend at LaSalle.
Yep.
We've got the Dells late model, super late model action Sunday up at Dells Raceway Park. We got IRA Sprints in action next weekend at Beaver Dam. We have the Slinger Super Speedway opener on Sunday, April 26th. And then you talked to Greg McCarnes May 3rd, Madison International Speedway. So, Jimmy, the results are just starting to come in as racing season just around the corner.
You know, and I also ought to point out in front of you, Dean, is the original half-pounder.
Hager
is here.
I had to ask what that is. That's a cookie.
It's a half-pound cookie. And people are watching on the webcast or sitting here like, what is that thing in front of Dean right on that table?
That's
Hager, I unwrapped it for you because I'm going to eat that one. It's delicious. It's a half-pound cookie. Hager is famous for, and he brought me one.
How can you go wrong?
So it's part of our sponsor table here. Hager's brought some great stuff to give away. I'm not giving that away. I'm going to eat it. So I had to share that with you while you're looking at your report going, what is that?
No, I knew what it was,
right.
and for a guy who hasn't had dinner, it looks delicious.
Imagine a muffin the size of a cookie. Okay, a cookie the size of the muffin. It's delicious. Do we need to thank our friends at Bonafide?
You want to do that?
No, you can do that.
Okay. Tonight's Short Track Report brought to you by Bonafide Security Solutions. Raise your security IQ. Learn more about the wide variety of security products, including safes and gun safes, by visiting bonafidesafe.com. Bonafide protects what you value.
Wow. Like a true professional, like you were on the PA at Phoenix or something saying that. I like it.
Just like that.
Thanks, Dean. You can stick around if you want because you've seen this driver race as many times as I have, perhaps even more. He is certainly in a class by himself when it comes to winning at his age. Okay, Al Schill's done it. Ted's done it. Ted's got a brand new race car. But you know what? They're not done winning yet. Let's welcome to the program a man who brought a bunch of friends with him tonight, a perennial first show guest and one of our great friends of the Race Roundup program. Let's welcome in officially Ted Dolan. Ted, welcome to the program. Thanks for coming on.
Jimmy, thanks for having me, and everybody at the Racing Roundup group. Paulies here. Thanks for all my friends for coming out.
Yeah.
Fans, really appreciate it. It's really a nice showing.
When I called you on the phone to get this going, I said, you got to be here on the first show. He said, well, I think our brand new cars are going to be almost done.
Yeah,
Brand spanking.
I've been laying underneath it all winter.
What made you decide to go with the brand new one?
I don't know, last year, I was talking to Al, teaching. I said, that car's pretty good that I got, but I think I'm missing a little something, I think I'm going to get a new one.
Yeah.
So I did.
Do you have two now?
I got two.
All
Yep.
right.
Jacob's going to drive the other one.
Awesome.
I'm going to try to get Scott Hansen, maybe Al in it once in a while. We'll see what we can come up with.
I heard a cackle from the crowd. I don't know who that was from. Some guy that lives in Peoria, Arizona, I think, was starting to cackle up there by the name of Todd Bailing. I won't name names, though. Scott Hansen's name is on that race car already.
Yeah, Scott Hansen, Scott and Nancy, that's one of my sponsors, trucking company. Big sponsor. Couldn't do it without him. Good friend of Scott from years and years and years, Goes way back when he was dirt racing.
Yeah.
Shano.
He was dirt racing then.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Good at it, too.
Yeah. I think I saw him play a few times. I think I saw at least once on the dirt, Scott.
Oh, yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you'll see him again this summer.
He's sitting on that side of the mic tonight, Teddy. He wants to make sure the spotlight is on you and all the great folks you have surrounding you. It's great to know you got your son Jacob involved with what you're doing with the other car and the folks helping you. I mean, that goes a long way. You've got a lot of work yourself, but it could be done without the others.
Jeff Quateray's down at the garage with the boys. TJ and Jacob are down there. TJ's got his own car, Revolution chassis, and then they got some wild cars down there. We got plenty of cars down there. So. Too many cars for me to work on.
How is that going to help you go racing and maybe more
Well,
often this year?
you gotta do it yourself. When you want to race, you gotta get up and do it. You gotta get up in the morning. You gotta lay underneath it. You gotta fix it, make it go.
And when it comes to getting everything right, how much has technology, you've kept up with it because you're still racing every year. It's not like it's changing a ton. But did you go to a different chassis manufacturer this year? Or did you go to the same chassis?
No, I stayed with Bob Pierce. I stayed with Bob Pierce since 2009.
Okay.
He's got a lot of good input he gives me. I can call him on the phone and talk to him. Got hooked up this year. Willie's Carburetor and Dyno Shop. Just got back from Mount Carmel, Illinois. Picked up 27 horsepower down there on his chassis dyno. Those guys worked all day on that car. It was really awesome. Really awesome to go by Willie.
You are sounding like you're getting pretty serious about this.
I kind of am, I car felt so good when I went out there, and I had a couple of my own errors on there, that mistakes I made myself, and I was disappointed. I drew good, number 5.
We're talking about this past weekend's race.
Yeah, I was on the front row to heat, and I was real confident that car could stay up front, and just ended up leaving a bolt loose, and it was good. It broke right on the start of the race,
Okay.
so maybe it saved me some damage or whatever, and then we learned a lot since then.
Where was the race, Ted? Where did you race this past weekend?
Well, not this past weekend, but the week before
Okay.
at Seymour. They have that real early opener on the 4th, you know.
Did they give scrapers to everybody to come in and help scrape the windows of the race cars to go? No, I'm kidding.
It was like during the day,
Okay.
so it was going to be dry slick. But we left by then. Scott and Nancy were up there, and then it was Barbara's birthday, so we left, and we were in Bear Creek when the race started. So
Okay.
I don't know how the race went.
So the car broke, and you said, "Let's go."
Yeah.
Pack her up.
Well, I didn't say let's go. Everybody else did.
Oh, okay. All right. So the car's in one piece again.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful car. Just love it. I'm so excited. Can't wait to drive it again.
Are there any other sponsors we have not mentioned as of yet that
Yeah,
help you
we
this
got
year?
Al's Auto Salvage, Al and Gwen Schill, A&W Iron and Metal, Dave Hager, half-pound cookies.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's why we got the
Yeah, I got a
half-pound right
whole
here.
stash of them out in the
All
truck.
right.
I got them locked up out there. G&G Specialized Carrier, Jerry Gunnerman, of course, and Robbie Swan. Advanced Automotive, Bill Gagliano, Underground Graphics and Vinyl. Leroy Ostrowski, outstanding job on the graphics on the car.
Hey, dude,
Just,
nice
I
job.
mean, I think it's like the best car I ever had. I can't say enough what Leroy did. He really did good job.
And where do you plan on racing that beauty?
I'm going to go to Plymouth for sure.
Okay.
I like
That's
to go
Saturday
to Plymouth
nights.
Saturday nights. And I want to go to that half-mile Dodge County.
Yep.
Going to go up to a practice there, see if we can. They got a Lucky 7 series. I don't know the whole schedule, but I would like to try to make them. That was one of the races. Was the start. Was the Lucky 7.
And are they
Was
at?
at Seymour?
Oh, I got you. So it's a touring deal.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So
So-
when it comes to that, that's a pretty full schedule, right? You gonna play anywhere else?
Yeah, if I can do it all. It's quite an undertaking for somebody my age. I can tell you that.
And I know one of your great friends, George Scheffler. There's a memorial race coming up in August at Oshkosh. Is that something you're gonna play with if your schedule fits?
I don't know. I'll see. I got that spec motor in there, and I don't know what they're going to allow me to race or
Okay.
what. And right now we got the bigger spoiler on. We can run in WDLMA. Might have to go down to an 8-inch. We'll just see how the car runs, see how competitive it is against other large motors and things like that, and then make a decision later on.
For the fans listening that may not have been to one of your races, like Dean and I have for so many years, where are you going to race next? What's your next couple races you're going to, Ted?
Well, practice, go to practices, Plymouth, maybe Manitowoc, Dodge County, and then probably start out at Plymouth May 2nd.
Okay. So that Saturday night will be your first night, and you're
Saturday night, yep.
going to try to make every Saturday at Plymouth?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Running for the championship.
Yeah. If I could win a feature, that'd be like a
You
championship.
did that a couple years ago. It's not a big deal. You can do that.
Yeah. It'd be great. It'd be great.
The neat thing about it is you get to do what you want to do, and you can spend the time you want to spend on the race car. You work so hard your whole life to get this chance. Is it fun or is it getting to be work again?
Exactly. You put that helmet on, you climb in them cars, feel like you're 30 years old. I tell you that.
You can certainly get it done still, and we thank you for being part of our show, doing what you do. We want to make sure you come back and see us as much as you can.
Okay. Hopefully, I'll be back next year.
I hope so too. I hope you see you a couple weeks or maybe every Tuesday here at the Racing Roundup Show.
We'll
as
be
well.
here. We'll be here during the summer.
about
Thanks
us?
for having me.
Nice hand for Ted Dolan, one of our original guests and the man behind Where We Go, and we can't thank him enough for being on the program and hammer down. That right foot knows exactly where to go on the floorboard in his Dirt Late model, which is sitting right out front here at Paulies. Thank you, Teddy. Make sure you sign our backdrop, please, from our friend, the Golden Boy, Mikey Borchard. Mikey Borchard at Borchard Speed Automotive set us up with the beautiful signage we have here at our radio program. Can't thank him enough as well. Hey, there's a cool place to go. It's called Friends on Forest Home. It's the new name for BB Rubbles at 56th and Forest Home. If you haven't been there yet, you want to get there for a given Sunday NASCAR race. The tradition of the trophy continues when there's a caution flag during Sunday NASCAR races. If your number's drawn, you get the trophy and drink for free until the next caution flag. This is at Friends on Forest Home. Owners Jeff and Patty have done a lot of work. They want to make sure racers have a great time. They're carrying on that NASCAR tradition in a remodeled, fun atmosphere. They have beer bucket specials during the races and a lot more. It's called Friends on Forest Home at 56th and Forest Home. They sponsor us. They want to sponsor your league team. See Jeff for details. It's Milwaukee's original NASCAR bar. It's now called Friends on Forest Home. We're actually heading there for a remote on May 5th. So we'll keep you apprised of that as things go on. As Dave Schmalzer looks at me like, what? I just heard that for the first time. I like bringing things up when it comes to mind. I'm getting old, I guess. After 31 years, I guess maybe now and then I get a pass. Who knows? But nonetheless, we are going to take a commercial break and come back with our NASCAR report, wrap things up, and tell you who's on next week's show on the Racing Roundup program. Lots more to come. Results from the NASCAR world on our program as we wind things down. Stay tuned. You're listening to the Racing Roundup Show in Milwaukee on the Big 920 and on Madison's home for NASCAR, the Big 1070. We'll be right back. And we're back on the Racing Roundup program. Glad to have you with us here on the show. The NASCAR report's brought to you by Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, a proud Wisconsin family business, and NASCAR race team sponsor of Junior Motorsports and driver Regan Smith. It's made right here in Wisconsin and available at your favorite store. Anderson's Maple Syrup, pure quality for over 85 years. Kyle Busch knew something when he had that kid in his windshield when he won the Snowball Derby. Well, that kid is Eric Jones, and wouldn't you know, in Joe Gibbs Racing Nationwide, now Xfinity Series equipment, he won the race on Friday night, becoming the second youngest 18-year-old to win there. Last year, Chase Elliott set the mark when he won his first Xfinity Series race at that speedway. Jones held off Brad K. Brad Keselowski on a restart and went on to win the race. Dale Earnhardt Jr. finished third. The kid was jazzed. He said, "This is surreal. It's just a really cool day and something I'm really proud of, not only for myself, but everybody at Joe Gibbs Racing. It's a great feeling knowing you had to work for it, that it was not just handed to you," end quote. Jones took the lead for good on lap 151 from Earnhardt, who paced the final 51 circuits. The kid was just bad fast. He also won the pole. Keselowski, nonetheless, was very impressed. In the Cup Series for the 5th time and first time in the spring race at Texas, Jimmy Johnson was firing the 6-shooters in victory lane after a spirited NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race on Saturday night. He made a bold move underneath both second-place Kevin Harvick and then leader Jamie McMurray on lap 321 of the scheduled 334-lap race as the trio stormed toward turn 1. Harvick actually was racing so hard to catch him, he brushed the wall with 4 to go. That allowed Dale Jr. past him momentarily for second, but then again Harvick beat him to the line by inches to finish second. Earnhardt third. Harvick's now finished second in 9 of the last 10 Cup races, dating back to last year. That's crazy. It was Johnson's 5th win at Texas and 3rd in his last 6 starts, extending his record as an all-time winner on 1.5-mile tracks in the Cup Series. He also won last month on the worn-out Atlanta mile and a half. He said he kind of likes those tracks that have the character on the asphalt. I wonder if you ever saw him race at Crandon or in a buggy in the stadium. You know that he likes it when the train gets a little nasty. Joey Logano, last year's Texas Spring Race winner and this year's Daytona 500 champ, finished 4th with his teammate Brad Keselowski trailing in 5th. Matt Kenseth spun out all by himself while running 11th on lap 229. He recovered to finish 23rd. That was uncharacteristic for sure. Paul Menard's engine soured just prior to Matt's spin, which left the Eau Claire driver 41st in the rundown. It's off to Bristol this weekend for the NASCAR Xfinity Series and K&N Pro Series East doubleheader on Saturday afternoon. Then it caps off Sunday with the 55th running of the Food City 500 in support of Steve Burns and Stand Up to Cancer. Steve Burns is the TV commentator for Fox, and he is undergoing some serious treatments now. Today is actually Steve's 56th birthday. He's my fellow Fox Sports broadcaster, so we wish Steve and his family well. Our thoughts are with him as he goes through his treatments, as he battles admirably in this cancer thing. And it's, yes, stand up for cancer. And I'm glad that Food City in Bristol said it's a good thing. We need to put Steve's name on this race, which is pretty cool. The NASCAR report brought to you by Anderson's Pure Maple Syrup, a third-generation Wisconsin business and NASCAR team sponsor. Everything tastes better with Anderson's Maple Syrup. Try it in your coffee or tea or even when grilling your favorite foods. Follow Anderson's race team all year long at Anderson'sMapleSyrupRacing.com. I might have talked a little faster there because we have one more special guest. I mentioned his name was on a race car outside. Well, guess what? When he shows up, we want to put him on. He's one of my all-time favorite drivers to watch and hang out with. Let's welcome back to the Racing Roundup Show for the final few minutes of our first program, Scott Hansen. Scott, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks, Jimmy.
Thanks for coming down and supporting your friend Ted, and now your name's on the race car, and he said you might even be driving it.
Well, he's got some big expectations, but I'm sure we have to talk to Nancy about what's going to take place there. But we're having a lot of fun. We're trying to support everybody. You know, Ted is really excited about what he's got going there, and you know, I wish him a lot of luck with what takes place. The car really looked great, you know, when we were up there at Seymour. You know, he had little bugs to work out, but he's going to get it, and he's going to run good.
Now, you also are holding a steering wheel every day for a real job. What you up to? What's Scott Hansen's world of these days?
Well, if we're not in Arizona, I'm still trying to drive some trucks around here. And
not the ones with numbers on the side,
no,
actual over the road.
Well, we got some numbers on the side, but you know, we've got a great business partner up there with A&W Iron and Metal, and do a lot of work there, and just having a good time with that whole situation.
So you're hauling big chunks of stuff.
A lot of scrap metal, yeah,
right.
yeah, and
Okay.
it's been very good. Enjoy it a lot, and going to try and start backing down from it a little bit, you know, and enjoying everything that takes place there.
So what % are you now spending in Arizona? Ish.
Well, we try to go once a month, but we're actually going to spend some time up north this year, up in Crandon, Wisconsin.
All right.
So we're going to try not to get out to Arizona, you know, June, July, and August. It's pretty hot out there.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Small world. My wife's father always went to Crandon to spend 2 weeks camping, and I went there twice. And the first time I went down this little road by the little lake at the campground, I see this shiny license plate swinging in the breeze below the mailbox. I'm like, What is that? Wait a minute. It's silver, white, and light blue. And it's got a 53 stamped in it. I'm like, holy crap, it says Scott Hansen Racing on that license plate.
Yeah, my dad was up there for...
That was your dad's place?
Yeah, 20-some years.
Wow.
And, my sister and I and Nancy and Tom acquired it now, and we kind of giving it a facelift, and everybody's enjoying the heck out of it.
Well, I know the road you live on, and if you want to go stay with Scott, the campground's on like a half mile down the road. Keep going to the lake and turn right.
Just give me a call. There's a little trail through the woods. We'll party.
They got a nice shower thing there now. The lake, my late father-in-law had gone there since he was 19, so he knows every nook and cranny in that place, and that's a neat area.
Beautiful country. Just really, really enjoy it.
It's relaxing.
Oh.
Have you learned how to relax yet? Because you've always been mashing the gas, no matter what you do.
No, I don't want to learn that just yet. I got a little road rage and anxiety yet, my wife tells me, but she'll get over it.
So does that mean she puts you in the back seat when she's driving? So you can't take the wheel and push her foot on top of the gas pedal kind of thing?
No, she acquired a new puppy here the last week, so she's in the back seat not paying attention. That was the best thing that happened to my driving up and down the highway. So it's all working out really good. And I really need to say it's good to see Greg McCarnes, and I'm glad to see what he's got going on. His parents and the Robins, we were just talking about that, how those were a couple of the greatest series that ever were out there, and really wish them a lot of luck. And sounds like we may go up and try and do a little gig with them up there in August at the Dixieland.
Good. I'd like to hear the gig. I'd like to hear more about it. It's on a Tuesday night. It's August 4th, the return of the Dixieland 250 at, actually, it might not be 250 laps, but it's the Dixieland race coming back to Kaukauna. I can't wait.
Yeah.
That'll be exciting. 5-time track champion there.
We had a lot of success there. It was a great racetrack for us. 20 miles from home, one of the hardest racetracks in the town to get home from. We could go to Nashville, get home earlier than we could to Dakota, but we had a lot of fun and a lot of great people, as there are here tonight. There's just a great bunch of people here, like you said. You can go on and on down the list, and just really enjoy coming out here to do this.
Well, I thank you for spending a few minutes with us. My producer in my ear, you heard him too, 30 seconds. You're a TV guy. You know all this stuff. We want to thank you for coming on, Scott.
And we also need to congratulate you or commend you for all your carryings on and doing things. You're a busy boy nowadays, and see you in Phoenix, see you in Charlotte.
Yeah.
Really want to congratulate you, and good to see you make it the way you are.
Thanks, Scott. And more next week, so come on down. We'll chat more about it. What do you say? Hey, we had a great show. Can't thank you enough for being part of the program. Our first show of the year. See you next Tuesday night here at Paulies. Thanks to John Everett from Road America, Dennis Ernesto with the Kowicki Driver Development Program, Greg McCarnes with Madison and the Arca Midwest Tour, Ted Dolan and Scott Hansen. Thanks, guys, for being part of the program. Thank you, Dean Strong, and everybody for making our show, Season 31, a success. We're kicking off in a good way. See you next Tuesday here at Paulies. Until then, have at it, racers.